Hello, hello, Virgo. Welcome to your May 2019 overview reading. This is good for you if you're a sun, moon, or rising Virgo. And I am using my old camera setup right now because I'm having some tech issues with Final Cut. So I hope you guys don't mind me reverting back to this, but it's not going to be my normal edits. The way I normally do these readings, so I hope you guys don't mind. But go ahead, tune in. If there's something you want to have come up during this reading, just set your intention for that now. You can ask questions or just tune in. Take a deep breath into the diaphragm. And I also want to let you know, if you're wondering what decks I'm using, they are always listed in the description box. So you can check that out if you need. I'm going to lay down this timeline and then we're going to get into it. Let's start with the truth bomb. First thing for you in this reading, this one. Angels are waiting for your call. I think that this is going to be an important month for you to actually focus on the spiritual side of things, no matter what you're dealing with, right? Because it's kind of like if you're trying to reach business goals, the last thing I'm going to recommend is, say, sit around and meditate all day. That's not a good way to reach business goals or career goals. But what this is saying is, like, if you need support, if you need information, if you need clarity, angels are waiting for you to basically dispatch them, ask for favors. And this is what I like reminding people to do is, you have all the support that you need. You have all the information that you need. It's just that you need to ask for it. The biggest part of spirituality through and through is just asking for the information that you need to be revealed and come to the surface whenever you want. So just take that this month. We'll see what else comes up. But I think regardless of whatever it is you're looking to make happen in May, you wanna ask for support. And then the animal card for you is owl. Definitely exercising that third eye. Great time to, any time is a great time to meditate, but I'm getting that your spiritual practice needs to be on point in May. That's something that will just be a game changer for you. And I'm not even joking. Like, get the support that you need, whether it be working with a practitioner or incorporating something into your routine that you normally, haven't been getting into. Try to put a little bit more emphasis on ritual, on higher self, higher knowledge. Like, that's going to be a really great way to ground you as well. Let's see what the Sovereign Oracle has to say for you this month. Refine. A tweak is needed. Don't start over just yet. Consider partnering with a gifted editor or mentor. A new level of mastery is calling to you. So it seems like there's a little bit more that needs to happen. I don't think you need to like scrap and start fresh or anything like that. It's just about, like I said, incorporating something new or weaving in a little bit more of that spiritual help for yourself. Excuse me. So that's where the refine, like the tweak, is coming in. And then also, like, if you are starting a project in May, or if something is getting moving in May, just look at it as refinement, just going through subtly and proactively adjusting the wheel as you go. No need to make a sharp left turn. The central energy for you in May is the Five of Wands. You guys know this is my favorite card in tarot. Friction, discomfort, all the things that people don't like. But remember that the friction is what gets you in the mode where you build and you can take action. That's what the Five of Wands is reminding you of. It's saying, hey, you know, this is absolutely the traction that you need to propel you in the right direction. Right? It's all about movement, it's all about flow, and that's why I think if you're stuck, if you're like, I have this issue or I have this block or I have this problem that needs to be solved, the solution is to ask for guidance, use spiritual tools, you know, get insight. Sometimes we need to go to a practitioner. Even I do, despite being as psychic as I am, I cannot see my own situations, right? So you might need a third party. Like this said, consider partnering with a gifted editor or mentor. That is something that's definitely coming to the surface, but it's about getting the support that you need in order to make the moves that you want to make and build what you want to build. What you have shifting out is the Seven of Cups. So I think there was a lot of action going on or a lot of different potential directions that you could go. And I think you finally settled on one or made some moves recently, but now it's kind of like, okay, how do I do this? How do I problem solve this? How do I get things going? So it's like once you refine your focus or you become tunnel vision on something, then it's just about building. And that's what the Five of Wands is important for. That's what it's important to consider throughout all of this. So that's why I like it so much, is because it's what gets us to build. It's what pushes us further. It's what helps us to really make big leaps. But you have to have that friction. You have to have that, you have to create that grit so that you can move in and manifest what you want to manifest. Okay, the oncoming energy is the Tower. Let me pull a card to clarify this because I know how much the Tower scares people. I don't really think that it's that big of a deal, but I know it freaks people out. All right, what's this Tower about? What's the deal? Seven of Wands, don't work too hard. I'm dead serious. Like working too hard or expelling too much energy is kind of what's going to cause burnout. In this reading, what I'm looking at is that if you try to do everything on your own or you bite off more than you can chew, it's going to fall apart. Okay, that's why this is screaming, you need support, you need support, you need support. That's why you have Refine coming up. That's why you have this card coming up. That's a big message, as well as the Owl. And because, you know, kind of consider the fact that it takes a village. You know, we can't do this alone. It's not something that people can do everything by themselves always, right? We're social creatures. And so the Seven of Wands is like trying to prove your worth through overworking or overextending yourself and like trying really, really hard. But when you're in that state for too long of a period of time, that's when the Tower comes up and it's like, nope, you need to take a back seat. And if you're not proactive with this, if you're not proactive with your energy levels and you don't overwork or overdo, like let's say you totally ignore this, you're gonna burn out. Like there's just no other way to put it. So it's saying, you know, hey, you want to keep your eye on this, because if there's a way to make this easier through the help that you could receive, that's what you need to do this month. Let's check the external circumstances, people, places, things, opportunities. We have the Page of Swords. So you're experimenting right now. This isn't something that's going to be totally clear. You just need to take May as a month where it's like, let's see what happens. Let's see how this goes. That's it. That's all you need to do. There's no pressure for you to like have it all figured out or know all the answers right away, especially if you're doing something that you've never done before. You can just make the attempt, figure it out, and then get the information from there. It's not about knowing ahead of time. It's just about walking and taking each and every step and then figuring it out as you go. And then we also have the Three of Wands. Now, I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that your big picture plan is happening, right? Like, you have to have this Five of Wands and this Page of Swords, that experimentation stage, in order to build the big picture, in order to have that long-term plan. If you don't do this, like what I try to remind people, especially if you've just started something, okay? I would say you should screw up as much as you can, as early as you can, while things are small and the impact isn't going to be that big of a deal. If everything is smooth sailing for years and years and years, and you build a huge empire and you've never had any blips on your radar and something goes wrong, you're not going to be prepared. And that is the same thing for relationships. If you can't handle conflict in relationships and you don't get good at that in the beginning, and that's what the Five of Wands is, then you're going to be in deep shit later on. Like, that's basically what's going to happen. So this is where it's like, screw up now, have issues now. Like, that's okay, because it's preparing you for creating stability and accessing the resources and the information that you need for long-term success. This is not a sprint. This is a marathon. And the Three of Wands is really pushing you to focus on that big picture plan. And that is going to, it's going to make it a lot easier for you to experiment, because you're not going to know what works until you try it. So you're just going to have to go for it this month. You're going to have to experiment. You're going to have to dabble. You're going to have to try, even if it doesn't work. You can always edit it and refine and ask for support, and then get clarity as you go. Now, in the subconscious, or I shouldn't say the subconscious, it's more like inside, like your personal life, the internal world. We have death. So this is, I'm getting like death to perfectionism in a lot of ways, because if you're in the middle of experimenting and having friction and heading into things that you've never done before, it's really a humbling experience, because there's going to be a part of you that's very old, that's probably served a big purpose, that needs to die away, right? Like, if it doesn't work anymore, if that strategy is holding you back, it needs to die. Like, it literally needs to go away. And so that's where the death card is about the rebirth that emerges from that piece that no longer serves you. And that's how it gets integrated. You have the information on that experience, but it gets integrated. It doesn't define you. Okay, and then we also have the Four of Pentacles. So watch yourself for scarcity mindset in May. I'm going to pull a clarifier for this, but what I'm getting here is that if you're like worried that you're gonna screw up so bad, or like something awful is gonna happen and you're not gonna be able to repair it, it's like, that is, I call that like a very earth mindset. Like, you're not thinking big enough. The scarcity usually happens if you're only focusing on tunnel vision in what's sitting in the material world, rather than your own creative potential, right? Because there's a lot you can't see, and it matters more to focus on what you can't see than your perception of something as being negative, and then whatever it is you're putting a negative judgment value on, or a scarcity judgment value on. So that's where you kind of want to check in. And it's also about, you know, the death card could also represent a death to the scarcity mindset. That's what's being reborn this month. And then I'm going to clarify these. We have the Two of Wands. Yeah, get to manifesting. Like, that's, when in doubt, you know, focus on manifestation. It's better than sitting and worrying, right? Like, I would much rather pour energy into manifesting and actively creating something than worrying about what could go wrong in this potential tower. And so that's where it's like, if you try to control too much, that's when you perceive the tower as being real. If you're a little bit more flexible and willing to just get feedback on whatever you're pursuing and whatever action you're taking, then you're going to be more flexible and you're going to be able to adapt as you go, and you're not going to experience the tower because it's like, it's okay, this is an experiment. It doesn't need to go perfectly. And so this is just saying you want to focus your energy on what's going to build and what's going to support your big vision. But remember, the Three of Wands is about focusing on the astral plane, not the earth plane. Okay, because you're only seeing a very, very small percentage of what's happening on earth and what's available to you on earth. A lot of the stuff you don't even know it exists yet. So make sure that you're keeping that in mind to help pull you away from any scarcity. Let's get into the timeline. First, second, third, and fourth quarter. That'll be where you end the month of May. First quarter, Five of Pentacles. This is where you have a lot of those fears coming up, maybe limiting beliefs or worries about, you know, am I doing it right? Is this safe for me to proceed? You know, is whatever questions you have coming up, it just looks like there's a little bit of self-doubt, and that scarcity makes an appearance first thing in the month of May. And that's okay. Like, we all have little dips when we can get into our head about like being scarce around time or scarce around energy or scarce around money, partnership, like literally anything you can think of. And so this is where it's kind of like, okay, you have to dive into the spiritual side of things. You have to ask for support. You have to make those moves and get yourself as much support as humanly possible in order to to shift yourself out of that. Then the second quarter, we have the sun. There you go. Looks like you're back. It's like, oh, duh, look at all this potential that I have. Look at all of this creative ability that I have. Oh, right, I can manifest that thing. It's kind of like you get access to that again. It's not fleeting. It's something that you really do have available to you. Okay, card number 3 or quarter 3, 10 of Pentacles. There you go. This is also a strong abundance card. Okay, so the 10 of Pentacles is like you've built a strong foundation. You are looking at this for the long haul. I think you can trust that a little bit more, even if it's scary or you're a little bit skeptical of it. I think that, you know, things are moving in a direction that is foundational. And it's not going to, it's not going to go anywhere. I think that what you've built is going smoothly, and like the efforts that you're giving are adding up. I think it's just about being okay with that experimentation phase, or with that experimentation that needs to happen. It's like you can be building a strong foundation or have already built that and still like dabble and experiment. And then wrapping up the month, we have the Knight of Pentacles. So this is where things are really getting solidified. I think you're probably able to, or I think you find that a lot of manifestations roll in like towards the end of the month, especially if you're leaning on the supports that you have. That's going to be, it's definitely going to have payoff for you this month. So all in all, it looks good. It's just about keeping a close eye on where you're overextending and asking for support when you need it, whether it be from somebody that you actually know or just from your higher power, so to speak. Okay. Now we're doing a 3-card pick. You guys know the drill. You're welcome to pick as few or as many cards as you would like. Ask a question if you want. All right, card number 1. We have the 7 of Arrows. This is equivalent to the 7 of Swords in this deck. And you know, you might have 50,000 good ideas. You might have 50,000 approaches. You might not know where to start. And at the end of the day, just pick one. Like, it's not, if they all sound equally appetizing and they all sound equally fulfilling, then just, I mean, go with the one that you feel best about. So that's what I'm getting for this, is like there's one thing that you want to pick, or there's some ideas that you're going to have to shelf for a while that you're just going to have to say, okay, I'm putting this aside. You know, this isn't as important as all this other stuff that I have going on, so I'm going to focus on, you know, what I'm actually wanting to make happen. And it's okay to do that. You can always revisit it. You don't need to do everything all at the same time. Card number 2, we have the 6 of Arrows, so moving forward towards dry land. So you're actually coming out of turbulence, right? If you were in turbulence, you're coming out of it this month. And I think that's why there's a little bit of, like the 5 of Pentacles is kind of that hangover energy. And so this is where it's like, nope, you're definitely moving into the right space. That's what the 6 of Arrows is showing, and you're going to see that progress as the month goes on. And card number 3, we have the Fool. So you're doing something new, you're doing something you've never done before. It's a new beginning, it's a fresh start. You absolutely have the ability to create whatever it is that you want. Do not sell yourself short. The Fool is a great risk-taking card, so that is also available to you if you need it. All right, my friends, that is all that I have for you today. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate you more than you know. And if this resonates with you and you think someone else could use this video, go ahead and send it their way. If you would like to work with me one-on-one in any capacity, all of the links are in the description box, as well as the link to my Patreon if you want to check that out. And until next time, I wish you nothing but the best, Virgo. Have a good one, everybody, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.